Welcome everybody. I know my camera's off. Don't worry about that. Just waiting for everyone to trickle in. What a game, guys. It's a victory. I'm hyped. Let's get the show started. Welcome in, everybody. Glad to have you after a thumping 3-0 win. Atlanta United over Chicago, which I'll give it to myself. I kind of predicted it. It's near prediction. It wasn't a full prediction. So I said 3-1 in our match day prediction or preview episode. I assumed Shaqiri was starting. He wasn't. If I had known he wasn't going to start, I would have said 3-0. Because I thought, and my explanation in the video was that they're going to find one crazy weird goal because Shaqiri. Granted, he was featured in the game, but I think his impact would have been made at like the end of the first half with like a wonder shot or something. So that didn't happen. He didn't come out. So we won 3-0. We kept the clean sheet. And boy, we look pretty scoring 3 goals. There's a rough patch and we'll talk about it, but just wanted to get you guys fired up because I'm fired up. That was a fun game to watch, except for that rough patch. But we continue to make the Mercedes-Benz a fortress. So far, we are perfect at home, and we didn't look too shaky, in any of the games, which is a really good sign. A juggernaut at home goes a long way in this league. Then we can start working on away form once we clean up our things in the house. So, with that, we got AJ coming in hot. AJ, how is your internet connection while in the car? How are you doing?
It's not great, but what's great is the performance. Pretty damn good. And 3-0, pretty comprehensive win. Defensively, we did the job, got the clean sheet, and Yorgos Giacomakis has 5 goals, 4 in 4 games. He's doing the business. Hopefully that knock isn't too serious. But Jamal Tiare off the bench, birthday boy scores a brace, and that is quite nice. That shows some good confidence. That shows if Giacomakis might be out a while, hopefully not, that, we have somebody that we can at least rely on to get on the end.
Yeah, and boy, did he get on the end of those balls. Sounds funny to say.
It was almost, it was like over 3 XG. And, what the hell? Like, we gotta...
Yeah, I think you were going to say we got a finisher on our hands, finally. I am hoping so. I hope it continues. It's,
That's the perplexing.
Yeah, we don't know if this is something that's going to continue. You don't know if this is like an appetizer for the main course of an impressive goal-scoring season for Jamal Tiare, or, is this a flash in the pan? So we'll have to wait and find out. I'm inclined to think that this was more a product of a very, very good attack from us, combination play and crosses, passes, interconnectivity, chemistry, cohesiveness in the final third, and clinicalness in the final third. I mean, I'm so happy we were able to do that because it makes Jamal's job much easier. It makes it so even a not super talented striker can put up 2 goals in his home stadium. So that's really, really good to see that our wing play and our midfield, our attacking midfield, is firing on all cylinders, and we can score even with a backup striker on because the system's working. It's in place and it's working.
I ain't gonna lie, I didn't catch the first bit of what you said, but I think I got the gist of it. And this is us firing without Thiago Almada really, really in form yet, because he's pressing a little bit. He's dribbling into some dead ends still, but he's pressing, I think, to get a goal from open play, because he did open his count with a pen, but he doesn't look quite right yet, and that's actually a good thing when we're pummeling teams at home, and we look pretty good, especially even with Noah Cobb, who, yeah, still there's some growing pains a little bit. He's not this wasn't a perfect performance or anything like that, nor will it be from a homegrown that's a young defender and doesn't have a ton of experience. But instead of Stian Gregerson, I mean, that's huge. And I mean, didn't we predict it? Luis Abram is not in the 11. You don't. It's just a weird thing. Like, two left-footed center backs just doesn't happen. And Abram did come on as a left back to spell Wiley. That seemed more like it was just kind of minutes management because of travel with Wiley being with the U.S. youth national team. It seemed like a bunch of the guys, it was more if there was any sort of early sub in the 60th minute, all that, it was because guys needed probably to be subbed out a little bit just for that minutes management, like I said. And so, not too bad in terms of casualties either. That's GG. That looks to just be okay. It's not. Doesn't seem like it's a serious thing. Hopefully, so relatively unscathed. I mean, this is a very, very good results performance, and in terms of the news coming out afterward, so can't complain too much.
Yeah, Gonzalo did say they will wait for what the MRI says about about Gigi, because they said it was a knock to the knee and they're concerned about it. But in the press conference after the game, but hopefully he said it's nothing. It's probably precautionary to evaluate it to that degree. When you have a striker that valuable for you, you're going to take every precaution available. So I wouldn't get too worried about them taking that level of precaution, but it is what it is. Could be dangerous, right, so we'll see.
Right, he was also in good spirits, Gigi, on the bench, as there was a video of him. A few videos really, but one video is him talking to the fans through IG story, and then another one, he's on the bench and he's absolutely stoked.
Yeah, that one is going to go viral. That one's going to be shown everywhere. That's a really good one. The guy is like a living meme. He just makes like hype videos by accident.
Yeah, it's that. It's like, not only is he just bought in completely, that much is clear, but, the kind of the celly that he had with Saba, where it was a collaboration that, man, we absolutely needed. For sure. I mean, homie, just the GG time. That is perfect. That is just because his his little thing where he made fun of Saba's celebration after the previous home match. This is perfect. I mean, this is just exactly what that chemistry that we want from the players. So yeah, definitely. A really, really great day.
Yeah, absolutely. With that, let us... So before we do that, let's talk about... just like as I transition to the guest segment of the show, let's talk about, AJ, if you would walk us through what happened in the second half. Why did we come out so slow? Where did the fire go?
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, it was odd, definitely, for sure. I mean, I think, I don't know. Maybe it's complacency or something. Maybe there's just some level of where, the 1-0 lead, they were like, we got this. Because they did play pretty well without even really possessing the ball. And it was just basically, we were playing with that verticality that, we want to see from the team. But... yeah, it was some sloppiness. It was a level of like some perplexion, definitely for sure. I mean, I think not to really be able to put a finger on it, I would say, like I said, complacency maybe set in, and maybe some sea legs maybe, because there are some heavy legs from people that had to travel a good long distance from the week. So maybe it's a bit of that, but I think Saba, like he picked it up, and Lennon as well. That right side was just rampant, and Sean Da Silva, like for a good bit of it, he still dribbles into some dead ends as well, but I think largely he's been, when he's playing, he's trying to make things happen, and I think that's what you got to ask of him, and he's doing it. Like he's doing it to the best of his ability, and if he loses the ball, he's going after it as well. So I think ultimately a little bit of fatigue set in. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it was definitely fatigue. We saw like a wholesale change almost at one point. That's definitely indicative of the international plays, lingering on them a bit. AJ, can I ask you a favor real quick? Let's switch to the stream for fan cams. I realize we're in the wrong channel.
Let's do it.
So let's do that real quick. All right, so then we'll be able to get the guests in here.
There we go.
Yeah. That was just sometimes just misclick things, and then someone follows you there.
Yep. Sometimes it's just muscle memory.
It's the blind leading the blind at that point.
Yes. Yes.
So anyway, we got Bill Gluckman in here today as the moniker from what's the movie called?
Malibu's Most Wanted.
What was it called?
Malibu's
Most Malibu's. That's right. Yeah, that's a classic from back in the day. If you know that movie, let us know in the chat, because it's an old one, and you'll get where his name is from. He's the father of the main character, the politician.
Right. Chapstick. Looking for my chapstick.
Sitting in traffic.
Yeah, sitting in traffic.
Make a rap about anything.
Yeah, it's like the Andy Samberg before Andy Samberg kind of thing.
Jamie Kennedy, the original Andy Samberg.
Exactly. Yeah. All right.
Except,
so
way less talented, unfortunately. But
Break.
Yeah, I know, Gavin. I know. It's funny how OBS works sometimes, but we got there eventually. So yeah, Bill, give us the lowdown. What did you think about the game?
That's a solid performance. I think this beginning of the year schedule is really beneficial. Playing Orlando when they're not playing well, playing Chicago, playing New England, three of the worst teams in the East so far this season, is just a super benefit to start the season. I thought we had a lot of really good performances. I thought given who we started, we were solid in the back. Saba probably saved us on his block from them tying it up, but really solid in the back. Saba moving from right to left really created problems. Almada's shot still a little bit off, but there are a lot of good things there offensively. First half a little frustrating. A lot of Silva dribbling against two guys on the left side, which probably isn't the best way to go about attacking their defense. But that was a good team performance. I think the biggest unexpected thing from the first half the first part of the season, the first 5 games, is Guzan's playing like a not worst keeper in the league. He's playing like a probably middle of the pack keeper. And if he does that, I mean, that's a huge change to keep his voice out there. But that was another solid performance. That's 3 solid performances at home. Got to get one in New York now.
So, Bill, what do you think is what do you attribute to Guzan's resurgence and turning back the clock?
I think there's 2 things. I think adding a midfield has certainly helped. I think that's a underrated addition. Having Barty out there, having a 6 that can actually run up and down the field, control things, be a little bit of a force, combined with a little bit better defensive pair in the back, really makes it so we're not dealing with as many tap-ins or easy shots. And then an Achilles is just a slow recovering injury, especially when you're 140 years old. So 2 years is about what it takes. That first year is struggling. I think you'll see, probably more athleticism out of Miles Robinson this season as well. For Cincy, not for us, unfortunately. But Achilles is just a long-term injury. 18, 24 months, not uncommon to still be gaining kind of that quickness and that especially that lateral quickness. So I think probably a healing still, and then a little bit of just better team out there.
Love it, man. Yeah, no, it's great points. It's yeah, Guzan definitely turning back the clock, and yeah, the recovery is a big part of that, and having somebody shielding the defense is huge. But it's really hard to actually pick who the man of the match was. I think. Did you have a clear-cut winner?
I had Saba as my winner. I think he created a lot of problems for their defense, especially early. He was involved in both the first 2 goals, fundamentally involved in the first one, but his run created space on the second one for Brooks. They're working really well together. But the thing that gave it for me is the block inside the box, and he had 2 or 3 pokeaways that were key. Just hustling back and getting them before they expected him to be back. So for me, he was the best player for us. I think there's a bunch of people that could do it. I think the second goal, Almada touch, should get an unbelievable amount of playback because he took the ball out of the air between 2 defenders to start that counter. And it's disgusting, but still a little bit off shooting. But I think Saba's the guy. He's showing more than just pace right now, and I think he's got a really good chance to put up a really, really big season.
Yeah, let's just talk about Saba for a second because this is an all-star game for him. I mean, I completely agree. MVP for me. The fact that, I saw him booking down the field, bearing down on their goalie when he didn't have to. He didn't have to do that, but he did that just to continuously keep up the pressure on their entire team. So they were constantly having to kick the ball, get it out, try and clear it, and they had to do it so many times they started messing up, and they were starting to just cough up the ball in bad situations, allowing our defense to take a huge breath of fresh air, allowing us to regain control, rhythm, and boy, we hurt them on a lot of those too. So that was part of the reason we had those opportunities is because of those selfless runs that Saba was doing. That it's just he was just all the way over there, and now he's all the way over there doing that. I mean, usually it's Brooks Lennon doing that kind of thing, or or Mosquera when he's on. We got a third now. We got a third guy who can do that. And at this time, they were it could be almost all in the same field at the same time. That's insane. Seeing that much speed, it's crazy. So their defense was torched, and they were definitely getting tired towards the end. You could see it. Silly challenges like the red card and things like that were starting to come out. So, that athleticism was excellent. Saba had something to prove this game. And, like you said, the block, that removes a goal from the other team, and he was instrumental in helping 2 goals going for us. So, for me, completely man of the match.
Yeah, the other guy I would shout out would be Williams.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tricky for him to win man of match, but you just stuck him next to 2 teenagers against a 26-year-old, I don't know that he's the record fee, but ungodly amount of fee striker. And I didn't hear Hugo's name once. He was not involved very much. That's Williams setting up Cobb, making sure he's in the right place, just playing well.
Yeah, Chicago had a real hard time finding him. He didn't really, make himself super available, but at the same time, their wing play, they're, trying to get the ball to him from the midfield. It just wasn't happening. So, luckily, we kept him to a bare minimum.
Yeah, that really begs the question, why Williams did not get his contract picked up. It's really interesting because, as a player, he's not a perfect player by any means, but more than serviceable, and definitely a player that's could help a lot of teams in this league. So super interesting.
It's great to see a player finally come to Atlanta and overperform than what we expected.
Yeah.
It's the crafty center backs who are a little bit older, pushing 30. A lot of times that pairing becomes the difference. You stick someone with a lot of athleticism next to them or something different, and they can really figure it out. So I didn't watch a ton of him last year, but I've seen him throughout his career, and all the way back when he was in the championship. But he's a veteran with a ton of experience. You pick the right people around him, and he could lead and figure it out. I just guess DC didn't put him in the right spot, but he still has enough left in the tank to be a starter. I mean, Abram is getting minutes for Peru and is buried on our depth chart.
Yeah, well, he got some minutes today, and how did you think he did?
I mean, he was fine. Abram was fine. He came on for a couple minutes. He's gonna. To me, it feels hard that Williams throughout the whole season will keep Abram off the field, just because you're dealing with a, guy who played in, first league in Spain and is a regular for the Peruvian national team. He's clearly got something. It just seems like he comes into camp without it every year. But the second half of last year, he was very good. So I expect him to eventually take Williams on. But, having two left-footed center backs who are good in this league is not something that exists.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Although, yeah, there was a weird touch from him. From, it's like Williams, he lifts it high for him to kind of touch, maybe chest down, but he decides to try to take it with him and just again, not every player is gonna be perfect, but it's maybe it's the rust showing, maybe it's he's trying to do too much because he realizes, okay, Williams has a spot, I need to show something here. But yeah, it's an odd thing that Abram, just I don't know, it's every year. You're right. At least the 2 years, a small sample size, but it's there's just something a bit off in the first appearances from him. But so I mean, in terms of GG, if he's out, are you worried? Because Jamal Tiara, he did score a brace, but was this lucky?
Yeah, I mean, I'm. It gets interesting. Going to a baseball field to play next week is its own mess of a thing. I think I think Pineda's a fine coach, but the one thing he absolutely refuses to do is adjust his game plan to figure out what the opposition is going to do, and that's problematic in this league. I would suggest it's a large contributor to our great away record under him. So I wouldn't mind doing, you can't get space on the wings in New York City because it's 12 feet wide. So I would do something different and go, Zandy or Saba as a false nine, try and play a little bit narrower and run through the middle if Gigi's unavailable. If Gigi's there, we're going to throw out the 4-2-3-1 that we always do.
But would that be criminal in terms of from Pineda when Tiare just scored a brace and you're going to tell the guy who just scored a brace, hey man, I'm going to try something different. Basically crush his confidence a bit, because from a player confidence standpoint, from a player management standpoint, that's tough. That's a tough call. That's a big call.
Yeah, if we weren't going to play on an infield, I would tell you that it's a much easier call. But in my book, you put your best players in the best possible chance to win. And if you have Saba and Zandy wide, you can't really stretch the field the same way you can in basically any other U11 or bigger stadium. So you've got to find a way to play through the middle a little bit more with a little bit more skill and finesse. And Jamal gives you less on the touch, more physicality. I think he's still someone you want to put in at halftime if you're trailing or even. But to me, it sets up for quick interchanges and passes. And I think Saba, Zandy, and Almada can kind of run that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Maybe it's bringing Fortune in and then moving Almada into the false nine. Yeah, there's several options for sure. So definitely an interesting call to really make for the next match. But final thoughts.
I mean, he's not going to do it, so it's fine. He's going to do the exact same thing. He's going to put Jamal. We're going to run a 4-2-3-1. We're going to struggle with the weird field dimensions and just absolute ridiculousness that is. But if we get a point there or more, that would be great. Playing teams that are struggling because of either CCL or other early season issues. It's just you've got to take advantage of these points. This is when you make your case for a home playoff game. We'll have to play harder games. We know it; they'll come. But playing teams that aren't playing well at the beginning of the season is when you got to feast. And right now we're feasting at home. We need to replicate that on the road somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love it.
Sounds good. Thanks, Bill. Appreciate you coming on.
Thanks,
anytime you do.
All right. Bye.
Have a good night,
Take
man.
care. All right. So let me read the chat for a second while we wait for our good buddy Niall to pop in. You guys are quiet today. Everyone's doing Easter celebrations, huh? Jack Dickens says Jamal. Niall, why are you calling me on here, huh? You should just hop in. Just hop in the stream for fan cams. Caleb played very well today, and he said, Jamal, 2 happy birthdays. Yeah, and also Brooks looks so damn good. Indeed, he had a great game too. I mean, there isn't too many players. I love it. I love that thing when you watch a game and you're like, no one really did terrible. That's great, you know. That's great, you know. It's like you can't point to like one thing where you're like, oh crap, that's the reason why we kind of got handed there. So, all right, so we got. Let me change your name there so you're no longer Bill Gluckman. You are not a fictional politician from a 90s movie or early 2000s. So, Niall, tell us, what do you got from this game?
Oof. It was a good match. I was fairly pleased with how things turned out. We were a bit sloppy in some areas, but I think overall I was pleased with the performance. I thought that Jamal had a great game. For him to score 2 goals, come off the bench, I mean, you can't really ask for anything better, especially on his birthday too. So
I bet it's his best game he's ever had.
Yeah, he said so. He said so as well.
Makes sense.
I saw on social media that he was like, "Oh, this is the best day of my life," or something like that.
That's what you love to hear.
Yeah, and also the video of Gigi like fist pumping after the match with the video, that was also pretty epic as well. Hopefully he's all right, because I know he looked a bit injured beforehand, but yeah, overall a good result. I mean, we're now 3 matches unbeaten at the Bends, and let's keep that streak going. Let's make this place a fortress again.
Absolutely.
Indeed. Yeah, I asked Bill this as well, and it may be Saba for you, but who was your man of the match? Because I felt it was pretty difficult to actually choose, because a lot of players.
Another great problem to have.
Yeah, I mean, that is a good problem to have. A lot of good players. You can say Lennon. You can say Saba. You can say a lot of players. But for me, I think it's Saba. I mean, the guy was just very, very electric. He had that one defensive block that was pretty good, and he was celebrating it like it was a goal because of how much that meant, obviously, because you're denying the opposition a goal. So I think he was just creating problems for the defense. I mean, he didn't score a goal, obviously, but
that sucks. He deserved that goal. He deserved it.
Yeah, he deserved the goal today, but overall his energy, he worked his butt off. I think he ran like 7 miles or something.
Yeah, 7 point something, yeah.
Yeah, which
7.41.
which just shows like how much he's willing to like work hard for the team, and you just love to see that. So for me, man of the match, a very impressive performance from him.
Mm-hmm.
Any issues? Yeah. Can you explain why we came out so soft in the second half? Why Chicago seemed to find a way to pressure us, and why Gonzalo Pineda said in the press conference, yeah, we need to work on that. We need to figure out why Chicago was able to completely turn us over and look like, we were pinned for a good amount of the second half.
Yeah, that is an interesting thing. I mean, I saw that as well. I think for me, I feel like we maybe put our foot on the gas a bit in the beginning of the first half, maybe. I think as well, I think we're just very, I don't know, I think sometimes we're very quick to like kind of rush the ball, and sometimes that can cause like a play where you give up the ball. For example, there were a couple times where we did that because it was just sloppy, like a misplaced pass, for example. I think those 2 things, maybe we put our foot off the gas a little because we kind of already were a goal up, and then I think also just I think sometimes you're a bit too overexcited.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good points because it's basically this. I think on that verticality and rushing it, maybe we were essentially trying to play a little too direct and not really trying to actually dominate the game. That I think those are kind of the issues that we've had in previous matches where we were talking about. Yeah, we're not really controlling the match. We're not really dominating like we know we can or have in the past. And so, that's kind of the rub is that, okay, we say pretty comprehensive of a win, but we're lacking in some areas where, okay, maybe some, game states that don't go our way. Well, it's maybe not as flattering of a scoreline. Maybe we get unlucky, even though we have an XG that's, just far and away, we should have, we should have, and we did win this match. But there were some moments that it was like, oh, Goose made a good save on the far post on a pretty good look. Like, we're still letting teams get pretty good looks, and that's where we're not maybe like fully dominating matches. Where if we can clamp down on the number of chances from the opposition, then okay, you put in not only attacking wise really a good shift, but defensively, you give them nothing, like Michael was trying to say before the match in his gift. Ooh, that's a harsh line. Bounce it against the wall, my guy. Bounce it against the wall. Anyway,
I agree. I agree. I think for me, we weren't at our best, obviously, but I think the convincing thing is even when you're not playing at your best, you're still able to get wins. And I think that's the sign of a good team. I think, obviously, like you said, there's some things to work out, but I think we're on the right track.
Mm-hmm. But that's the thing, too. I hear you. That old adage, if you can, play well or play poorly but still win. But I think it holds truer when you're on the road.
Right.
If you could do that, because at home you're expected to win, especially at a place where you have 40,000 fans that show up.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a thing where, if we can do this on the road and play this well and, kind of underperform our XG like that and still, score 3 goals, now we're cooking.
All right.
But
it's a good point.
So now, final thoughts on this match.
Final thoughts. I mean, it's a good match. I think also something I didn't mention was the clean sheet. It's nice to be able to get that, even with the chances he might have given away at times. Good performance on. I think we play New York City away next, which will be interesting. I think we can personally get something out of that match, but we'll see. Hoping that Gigi's injury is not too serious, but good win today.
It'll be an interesting match for sure. I think that will be able to tell us some things. I think that's like, playing away against not a world beater team. This will be able to tell us if we can get a result on the road. Have we made any improvements? Can we figure out the mentality, get on the right track for that type of game when things aren't necessarily, stacked in our favor? So, that'll be a really good barometer going forward for our away campaigns.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. And, well, it's especially this, too. This might be our best chance to win at Yankee Stadium ever.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Because...
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah.
No, I was just going to say, because, New York City is not doing incredibly well in the standings. I mean, I think their manager, Nick Cushing, for example, I think he's a bit on the hot seat the last time I checked. They have a lot of players that they recently signed, but they don't seem to be working out to the fullest extent. So, this is definitely not the same New York City team that we played in the past with, Maxi Morales, David Villa, those type of players.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So,
and Tati Castellanos.
Oh, him too.
That guy. Yeah, that kind of MVP guy where
Yeah.
They won MLS Cup. Yeah, that dude. Oh yeah. But yeah. So I mean, exactly. It's like, this is probably the worst NYCFC team that we will face. With arguably on paper, if Gigi can start, even if he can't start, like it's a very strong team from us. So.
Right.
Yeah, we've shown that, at least when the game state favors us, our system is in play in such a way that we can score goals even with a backup striker. So that's really good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Niall. Appreciate you, buddy.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Have a good night.
All right, we'll have one more guest, and we're going to move on to the wheel section. And I also want to show you guys, I think, because I just show them the spicy challenge you did, right? That's this week? Yeah.
That's this week.
Yeah, so I'll put that.
Stream, but that'll be next time.
AJ is attempting to find a costume worthy of the stream.
Yes. It will be decent.
All right, let me change your nameplate for you there. So we are welcoming into the stream Drew. How are you doing, Drew?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
What did you think of this game?
It was a good game. It was a great game. Basically, from the jump, we started pinning them back pretty well. Their defense held up pretty well through the first half, and it was really good to get that first goal, breaking them down in the end of the first half. It allowed us going into halftime to at least have that cushion, because they came out, pressured us pretty hard in that second half to begin with, and our defense looked very good as well. We were able to keep them out, and Cobb and Williams looked pretty good to start the game and to finish the game. So we were able to translate that into 2 more goals at the end of the game for Jamal, and that's a great win. It's a great solid win to beat Chicago here. So
yeah, it was good to see that when McCarty came on, McCarty party happened, and we were able to keep the game in control, which is what he's a player built to do. So it was good to see that working. And when Fortune was in as well, we did we had a whole new midfield, and they plug and played, and it worked. That's just a lot of times you see in previous Atlanta teams, you put in a new player, whole thing falls apart. So this is really good that we're seeing the system maintain its shape throughout multiple different changes.
Right, especially when we had that triple change, and it was a sub on pretty much each line. So yeah, definitely that could have been rife for that. But yeah, definitely they seem ready. They didn't seem like they the occasion was too big or anything like that. But I asked everybody this: who's your man of the match?
it's Saba. Saba looked like he deserved 2 or 3 this game. He was everywhere on the field, popping up in every spot. Defensively, had a great work rate. Offensively, he couldn't buy one today. He was in all the perfect positioning, taking well-timed shots and playing well-timed balls into the areas that needed, and just wouldn't go for him. But fantastic game from him.
Yeah, completely agree. Like we said earlier.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, the chance, man, that pullback. Oh, it's just, unfortunately, I don't know. Maybe he scuffs it a little bit or something, but it's kind of a weak shot, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, there's something about maybe his ball striking that it's just not always clean from him, and maybe that is the difference, in why he's in this league. Could be, but yeah, I mean, it's just like, because his decision making is pretty good, although. Yeah, there was maybe one counter where I was like, oh my god, you got to shoot earlier.
Yeah, he dribbled a little too much at one point.
Yeah.
And it's just like, bruh, like I think that was the chance. Like, when you're in the box, you can't have that many touches. Like, you just don't have the time. Like, that's what it is for a lot of strikers in the box. They know they have to one touch or like the chance is gone.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's man. But yeah. Besides Saba, was there somebody else that really caught your eye in this match?
I think Jamal, just being able to come off the bench and get 2 goals. That second goal it's a very good goal from him. That's him reading a defender and making a move and then finishing it first time. That's a brilliant goal, and it's confident too, and that's good to see from our backup, and that's something that we haven't seen in some of our backup nines before in a while. And you like to see that, because that if Yako goes down, you have somebody that isn't afraid and has the confidence to go in there and score, which it's great. It's great for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially it's Daniel Rios did show a little bit more the previous match, but TRA on his birthday, some might say it's lucky, some might say it's a little bit of a fluky type of a match for him, but hopefully it's not, right? Hopefully it's a sign of a lot of things to come as a backup striker, because we know we'll need it. Yakumaki's either through injury or yellow cards or international duty. Man, there's a lot of little it could be out because of that or this or that, and I think we see though how important Yakumaki's is, because he got the go-ahead goal. I mean, it's 5 goals already, 4 in 4 games. It's just, Thiago Almada hasn't really even fully shown up.
Yeah, I was just about to say, Drew, kind of a hot question for you, potentially difficult question. Why are we not talking about Thiago Almada?
I would have talked about him a little bit more, but you could see flashes this game. You could see that there's something that he's not fully there, and there's just these moments that you can see. I can take it the first half. He dribbled through 2 guys, hit what looked like a perfect ball, and just missed. And I was thinking, if that was last year, that would have been upper 90 all day, and we're off to the races here. But I think he's working himself through this little slump here, and he's still creating, and that's what I noticed. He was pivotal in that 3rd goal, and he was dangerous all game. So it'll come for him, and that's the big thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly that. I mean, it's like we know he's going to perform. It's just a matter of when. And so, yeah, I mean, he because he was still doing the defensive work in this match too. He's just, besides the final third, you should give him the ball in midfield, or even sometimes we give him the ball and it's like he's the last line, and I don't really ever feel concerned.
Yeah,
it's because I think there was at one point there was a 1-2 with Derek Williams, and he was literally the furthest back, and it's just like, oh well, okay, he's gonna find the ball to to get us forward. So it's definitely, yeah, I agree that it's just it'll be okay, but he's it is odd, and it could be where NYCFC is that match for him, where these tight spaces we know he can operate in. Maybe this helps him unlock where he's not trying to it's maybe that where he has all this time to think.
Yeah,
because we have a lot of space at the bends, and he'll dribble into players, versus if he's got players that he can play 1-2s with, and then it's like that Orlando goal that he scored way back when. You give him the ball in the box, he's gonna probably score. We just haven't really seen him in the box.
Mm-hmm.
He's pressing. He's not really trying. He's not really getting in the right positions. So
yeah, he's trying to do is also tap 2-3 times on the perimeter of the box, and then try and get a shot off. I think he did that like maybe 2 or 3 times this game. He was looking for it. He was definitely looking for the goal, the shiny goal, the flashy one, to try and jumpstart things. It was so close, but it just wasn't quite on.
You're gonna say, he just needs a couple ugly goals here to start and just get him rolling. Honestly, that's all it'll take.
Yeah.
You got to think the other player we haven't seen much of. He's not clicking on all cylinders. Silva.
Yeah.
Silva has been off since the start of the season, and we're getting these results without our best players performing at their best, and that's can be looked as a negative, but I see it as a positive. Is hey, they're gonna find their game, and we're gonna be even better.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And I think it's something like really, really interesting is that, Silva, while he's maybe not getting on the stat sheet, say the players that we previously had on the wings, like, Luis Araujo, it's like, if he's not getting on the stat sheet, okay, how is he really helping us? Like, it was kind of dire at some points in the build-up because, there were some moments where Araujo would help us move forward, but you see all these like connections that Silva has throughout the match, and so with Wiley, with Muyamba, with Almada, like the interplay is just really intricate, and it's not overplaying. They're actually wanting to pass the ball to each other and actually make things happen, and they're spotting runs, and so it's. Yeah, I think it's a matter of time for Silva too, but hopefully we see that. Hopefully we see that versus NYCFC, because I think that might be the match for them. But
with the smaller pitch, that I could see them having an impact.
So, but final thoughts on this match?
Good win. Another win at home. That's what we need. Pick up points early here and go on the road. We got to win here. They're a weak team. We need to keep building up this points early in the season, especially we don't know what our summer is going to look like. We need to build up these points early.
Yeah, love it.
Solid from you, Drew, as usual.
Yeah, dude. All right. Well, have a great rest of your night, and we will speak to you soon.
See you guys.
All right, take care, buddy. All right, so that was that for the guest section of our show. Next, we're going to move on to wheels section, which you probably all hopefully know.
Apologies if we're not going to go 2 hours like we usually do. Unfortunately, Michael has fortunately, Michael has some family in town, and so definitely we want to get him as much family time as possible. So.
That's right. Let me see if I can bring this up. We're going to bring up first my the forfeit I did. Can you do the thing, please? You can't do the thing? Why can't you do the thing? Alright, well, it is not letting me do the thing for some reason. I will keep playing with it. But yeah, it's not letting me bring up my Chrome browser onto the stream. That is very difficult considering that's what I need to show people.
Well, do we have to go by trust?
No. I'm going to just... You talk for a minute. Let me see if I can fix this real quick, and then we can try it again.
Okay. All right. Well,
you can talk for a minute, can't you?
Yeah, no worry. I mean, in terms of, I think, atmosphere, something we haven't talked about. I think it's still something that we're still, as fans, probably need to work on here, because there were some dead moments that, it's also this. When it's 2-0, like, let's be even more imposing. Instead of almost like
it almost seems like we have scheduled chants versus a kind of thing where things can be a little bit more spontaneous. And, you know, okay, if something happens within the match, you know, we maybe come up with something, and then we really, you know, we really have that creativity that makes it even more imposing. Or even, you know, I feel like we had opportunities to maybe do some olays, which is like a big FU to the other team a lot of times, because they were, when we were 2-0, I think we were firmly in control. Like, yeah, maybe they could have like snuck one or something like that, but because that was kind of around the time maybe Goose had to make that save. But yeah, I just think we need to improve the the atmosphere inside the stadium still, because outside of the supporters section, it's not that loud.
Yeah,
like we really, like, they have the mics there for the broadcast and whatnot, and so you hear kind of our off tune singing and all that type of stuff. But we're like, and it's still vibrant inside that section, but when it comes to the rest of the stadium, man, like, we just there's just some things that we can I think we can improve. And I know the supporters groups are working on it, but I think the casual fans, the even maybe not even the casual fans, but the fans that are not in the supporter section, we need to be louder.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like
all right, let me cut you off because I got the thing working finally.
Okay.
So let's do this, and then you can finish your thought. So this is me doing the
so
the hot challenge.
Doing my forfeit. This is what
Spicy
I'm
challenge.
Going to be doing a small little. Where's the camera? There it is. Tablespoon of, and then after that, if I survive, we'll try and finish it off, polish it off with a nice scorpion pepper, same kind of amount. And I also sampled all of these beforehand, which gave me a nice little priming. Those are all like cayenne and chili pepper, so nothing too crazy yet, but this is going to be the rough one.
Also, I am streaming this to our patrons earlier this week, so that's who I'm talking to.
The seeds, the seeds are there. That's why it's going to be very spicy. Yeah. Oh yeah. This was I bought this at the Atlanta Zoo, because proceeds for this went to like help like elephant conservation or something. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, I saw ghost pepper and I was like, really? Okay. And then, it's nothing to fuck around with. 32% ghost pepper in the mix of this. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna try and hold off drinking water for the next one. Yeah, that was a significant increase since the other ones. It's pretty significant. It's only a tablespoon, so not that bad, but alright, here's the second one. Actually, no, wait, hold on. Let me shake this up a little bit, just to make sure. Ooh, damn. I'm definitely sweating a lot now. That's a lot. Alright, put a little bit more on than usual. I don't know if you can see. There you go. Yeah. That's hot. It's like hard to swallow a little bit. Alright, well, that was the challenge. So, hopefully AJ gets it next time, because I don't want to do that again.
Alright, so that was my recording of doing basically like a small tablespoon of first ghost pepper and second scorpion pepper, two of the hottest peppers in the world. That was a rough one. Like I said, hopefully AJ has to do that next time, because it's not something I feel like I want to do often. So once in a while is okay. Speaking of that, we're gonna find out if I have to do it again. So so we can go take a look. So we are gonna go try and transition to the wheel again, and this OBS thing keeps going like I don't want to show you your web page. I don't know why it's doing that, so that's really frustrating. OBS is such a piece of poop sometimes, where it just says I want to work and I don't want to work other times.
Yeah, maybe it just needs a refresh or a restart of the entire thing, but
Probably.
It's for that now. But you know, we'll just we'll spin that wheel of forfeit.
Can you just work? Just won't work. I've done this, as you all have seen many times, the exact same way every show, and then this just goes today. I don't want to do it. It's like, why would you do that to me? So, so I can, I guess if we're in the interest of time, I can just do it, and you can believe me or not.
We'll trust you.
Okay. Let's see. I really want it to just work. That'd be nice. Instead of having to do other things. Can I just press this and you'll fix yourself? No, of course not. Oh, it worked. Okay. So okay, sorry for that. Thank you for your patience. So let's just get right on with it. And it is... Don't go to me. Don't go to me. Stop. 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 Okay, it stopped on AJ. Oh, boy. Alright, and let's see what he has to do this time. We are going to... Oh, okay. You landed on dressing up for the stream again, so we're going to spin it another time.
Yeah.
Because he already has that one in the chamber.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get another one on here. You got to listen to a song you don't like again.
Okay.
Let's you want to do that again?
Let's do it again.
Okay.
That's fine.
And then we are going to retire that slice for next time, and we'll have.
Yep.
If you have any recommendations or things that you'd like to see on there for us to do, please let us know. That would be fun. If it's not insane, we will consider putting it on there. So yeah, please do. Let me just check the chat before we head out of here after an awesome win. Let's see. Yash says Jamal on his B-Day. That's right. Brian Diefenbach says Citi Field. I don't think they are playing at Yankee Stadium. If we had every game, and then Bryson says if we had every game at home, we would win Supporter Shield. What do you think about attendance today? Yeah, I think AJ talked about it a little bit. He can also finish his thought after I get through these. Brian Baird says Saba, man of the match for me. Bryson says Saba is the most creative this season so far. He's playing better than Thiago. Interesting, and I think there's a shout for that. Brian Baird says, I hate that you're right. Brian says, I wish I wasn't. Pierce Hicks says, who will have more goal assists, Saba or Zonde this season? I'm going to have to say Saba. That's my prediction.
Right, exactly. On form right now, yeah, it's probably Saba. But, I am perfectly happy seeing Shonda Silva, go for that and proving us wrong. So
yeah. And then Drew asks AJ, "Do you like screamo music?"
I do actually.
Oh,
so,
okay. So we might not be able to use that as a weapon against you.
Yeah. Although there are some that are bare annoying to me. So yeah, feel free to. I have ones that I would be like, yeah, that would suck to listen to again or hear again. So yeah, definitely open to hearing that.
All right, get your last comments in. Bryson says, I think they're both who shall be playing on the wing, but you have to cater to Saba. Yeah, Saba. I agree there. So that's about it. Drew says, damn. So we'll see. We'll see what ends up being on the plate for AJ's ears next time or the time after that. We'll see. Maybe, he could double up. He could listen to something wild dressed up. Who knows? We'll see. You never know what you're going to get. So I guess that's pretty much about it for us. AJ, did you want to finish your thought about the attendance stuff before we head out?
Yeah, it was a little bit depressed in terms of not like depressing, but depressed in terms of the number of people that were there tonight. And Easter Sunday, I get it. Also, it wasn't like late on a Sunday, so I also contend that it's there are no excuses in some regard, but I get it if people have things that they have to do and family to to really I guess entertain, for lack of a better word. But yeah, it's just something that I don't want to pick apart, but we do absolutely and can, I think, improve that atmosphere in the stadium.
Do you think results come first, then the people come?
It's probably that, because that's absolutely, I think, part of it, where some of the casual fans, the trust needs to return. And I think that's probably what's happening, is that there's too many people. If there's something better to do, they might do it.
Yeah.
And we're seeing it. So
it's like that meme, put the word out, we back up, and then people will come back again.
Exactly. Although that meme refers to drug dealing. So
it does. It's from The Wire. Idris Elba, but
Yeah. But either way, in much more cleaner and less nefarious ways, we back up.
We back up. That's right. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us today after this, the jubilation that we experienced after the win. AJ, you want to sign us out?
Indeed. Well, everyone, yes, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. We love you all. Subscribe as well to the Patreon. Support us so we can continue to do this stuff that we love doing for you. And yeah, we love you. We will see you